your forecast on the 6th.
Yeah, we have to use a lower level camera shot to get a view out down the street, but from a rooftop view, yeah, it's really tough to see anything. So that's how low the cloud deck is, and there's some areas of dense fog out there as well, where the temperature in Providence standing at 70 degrees, the dew point matching it. That's why we're dealing with the low clouds and fog, and it's a very light breeze out of the northeast that we see right now. As we look at the visibility map, things are changing across the region, but off to the north, yeah, we're still socked in with some locally dense fog around Pawtucket over to Woonsocket and up into the southern portions of Worcester County. In fact, Worcester's visibility as 3 miles. But if you're traveling up 95 towards Boston, you're going to see lower visibility around the Norwood area as well. Or heading over to New Bedford, half-mile visibility, and out onto the Cape, quarter-mile there. So temperatures, everybody's pretty much hovering right around that 70-degree mark at the present time. So we look off to the west and see if things are getting any better in terms of how it feels, and indeed it gets a little less muggy and humid out here, where we find out through the Midwest, the Great Lakes region, temperatures are in the 50s and 60s, and the dew points are getting much more comfortable. We're going to have to wait until Thursday before this air mass can move into the region. For now, we're still stuck with a stationary frontal boundary just draped across western New England, cutting along the Maine coastline. And along this front come waves of low pressure. And every time we go through another wave, we get these bouts of showers and thunderstorms that produce some torrential downpours in spots. And yeah, the rainfall rates get so intense, they lead to localized flash street flooding. And again, we'll run that risk this afternoon and early this evening as yet another one of these waves come on through the region. But when that goes by, it begins to improve a little bit, setting us up for a better day tomorrow. Most of us will be dry, and we'll even have some sunshine. Not a whole lot, but there'll be at least partly sunny conditions, but we'll still run the risk of a pop-up shower because it'll still be quite humid. But then finally, the next weather maker coming in for Wednesday that brings another round of showers and perhaps some heavy thunderstorms on Wednesday will be followed by much more comfortable air as we go on into Thursday with that front slicing through the region. That front is also going to be key, I think, as to what happens with Hurricane Lee as well. In other words, it should help to deflect it and keep it offshore as Lee begins to move northward later in the week. So right now, 5 o'clock in the morning, we still have a Category 3 storm that we're dealing with, 120-mile-per-hour winds. It is going to slowly make a turn to the north over the next 24 to 48 hours, passing by the island of Bermuda, as weakening at that point in time, perhaps down to a Category 2 on Friday. This is the way the projection is by the National Hurricane Center, and then continuing moving north towards Nova Scotia. Might get close enough that we could see some outer rain bands working their way into at least the eastern half of New England as we go into the weekend. We'll keep an eye on it, but notice the overall trend. Most of all the model iterations keep it heading off well to our east up towards Nova Scotia, but there's a couple of hints that maybe it gets a little bit closer. So we'll keep an eye on that through the entire week. But here's our forecast locally for today. A lot of clouds and then developing showers and thunderstorms. The areas of yellows, orange, and red, those are the heavy downpours and some thunderstorm activity. And notice once they blossom up, they don't move too much. So they're going to be sitting around for several hours, and that's why we have the flash flood watch we're going to be looking at throughout the afternoon. Again, we could be seeing 1.5 inches to as much as 3 inches of rainfall in some spots, clearing out to, well, I should say just clouds and fog for tonight into tomorrow morning, and then finally getting some sunshine for your Tuesday afternoon, but still run the risk of an isolated shower. We're into the upper 70s. And then on Wednesday, another round of showers and thunderstorms with the next frontal system. That finally cleans the air out. For the second half of the week, it gets much more comfortable with the sunshine returning.
Excited for the second half of the week. Usually here when we have kind of a bad start to the week, we always try to just look to the end of the week to give our viewers some hope there that the sun is coming. So just patience. Kind of just be patient for the next few days with this rain. And yeah, that's all we can really say. So the rain will just be on and off like we've seen all weekend.
Right, and the greatest risk is during the afternoon hours, and especially today between 2 and 8 o'clock.
2 and 8 o'clock? All right.